guys come over and they're just like,
you look so much like someone I know. Oh my gosh, you look so familiar. Are you Thingy's sister?
I'm like, bro, you've never seen me a day in your life. Good morning, friends, Marie-Laure here, and welcome back to another video. Today's topic, guys, how to approach a guy. And this is a video by Kev Hick Talks Guys with Girls. It's not Hicks, is it? Kev Hick. From what I know of Kev Hick, the guy knows what he's talking about. But yeah, this is a video I am yet to see of his. It's kind of an old video, but you know, these tips are always timeless, you know, timeless. I know there are a lot of girls out there who are like very, very, very against approaching a guy. I am not one of those girls. I do approach guys, but I don't like them to know that I'm approaching them. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, right. I'm gonna stop talking and let's get straight into this video.
Approaching a guy isn't the same as a guy approaching you. It's not about getting his number or asking him out. It's about presenting yourself as someone who's potentially available to get to know.
Facts. Absolute facts. Because some people are really like, oh, like you should never approach a guy, like it looks desperate. I don't think that the approaching part is the desperate part, because the way that you approach a guy shouldn't be like on some like, hey babe, I've been thinking about you a lot and I'm ready to, like, that's not what we're aiming for here. Mine's almost always like a signal to let you know that like it's okay to talk to me. Wow, that makes it sound like, oh, you really wanted to talk to me. No, but you know, like I'm here, you can talk to me sort of thing. And I've just always noticed if the guy's interested, then he'll continue the conversation.
Woman who may be open to his advance if he decides to make one. It's not a proclamation of attraction or interest. Think about it like the help wanted sign in the window of a local business. It tells him that there's a position that needs to be filled and that applications are being taken. Your willingness to approach him and speak first says he's welcome to apply.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about strategic positioning, you know. Oh, I want to shed a tear. It's already started off so well.
It's like fishing. You don't just jump in the water and try to grab a fish. You'll scare them all away. You bait the hook, throw it in, and hungry fish will think that they've hunted you and not the other way around. Like
back in the day, or back in the olden days, women would like drop their handkerchief by like a man that they found attractive or whatever, and obviously the man would valiantly pick up their dropped handkerchief and be like, madame, you've left this. And then obviously she could, you know, if he wanted to and if they wanted to, they could start talking. It's just an excuse for them to start talking, you know, initiate contact. But like the guy won't know that she did it on purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's that strategic positioning.
Approaching is not to be confused with pursuing. Approaching is different from pursuing in the following way. In pursuing, requests are being made and permissions are being granted. Things like may I, can I, could we, would it be possible, do you mind are always being asked by the attracted party. Permissions. It's an attempt at persuasion, and those who are on the receiving end of those requests assume the leverage and the power. You're not attempting to persuade a man when you approach him. You're giving him the opportunity to persuade you. I think a lot of women imagine approaching men as if they're just walking up to some guy like, hey sexy, what up pa? You know you fine. Let me get your number though. That's not the case. Many think that approaching means they have to mimic what men have done to them. And that's how they see it, and that's why they're so mortified by the idea.
You've got to make him think it was his idea. I don't approach a guy on like a I'm approaching you vibe. Like I might just ask him a real simple question. I might ask him for a real simple favor. Do you know what I mean? And then you let him anyway.
A lot of times, two people who are attracted to each other will catch each other staring. The guy will fear, the girl will hope, and nothing will happen because neither of them will make a move.
So true, because what I hear a lot of girls say is that like, you know, well, if he wants you, then he'll speak to you. And that's not true at all. Do you know how many guys, like male friends that I have, or guys I know who are like really good looking guys, like doing well for themselves, like really any girl would be happy for them to approach them, and they just won't approach a girl. And in those situations I'm like, you could stare, give them all the eye contact that you want, honey, he's not going to approach you. And you could have just missed out on a great guy if you're just like, I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to talk to him. Sometimes just like saying hey, or like just a quick, you know, Just a quick interaction just lets the guy know, hey, it's okay to talk to me. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not here for the whole like just sit and look pretty thing. Like you could be sitting and waiting for a long time. And it doesn't make you look desperate if you just like say hey, because like you haven't made a move. Do you know what I mean? Like no one can be like, yeah, she was so on it, like because you just said hey. Like come on.
Listen, you can hope and wait for great things, or you can do great things. The choice is yours. In life, you can overcome failure and rejection, but there's no cure for regret. Listen,
I know you're thinking about that guy from like 2017, that guy who saw in that bar, and he was looking all types of fine, looking all put together, and you were looking all types of fine, but none of you started it. I know the regret. I understand. That's why we're here today, watching this video together.
there are a lot of ways to break the ice, and that's all an approach is. It's just an icebreaker. Approaching a guy doesn't take any game, just some basic people skills. Just remember to smile, make eye contact, find an opening, make your impression, and make your exit.
The exit part is so important. You know that situation when a guy comes to approach you and like, you know, you guys have had your conversation, but you're actually out with your girls, and then like he doesn't go, and you're sort of like, get in there, have the small chat if he wants to have the chat, and leave. Don't stick around. I'm telling you, don't stick around. If he wants to continue, he will find you and continue. I'm telling you.
Before you approach a guy, think about your finest qualities. Think about everything that you have to bring to the table. Everything that you might offer him in a relationship. Think about how lucky he is that a woman of your character and your caliber is approaching him. Just remember, people will believe about you whatever you appear to believe about yourself.
So like if you're going to do this whole I'm going to approach a guy vibe, you need to really think like I'm a catch. Once you know the value that you have to bring, what you have to offer, rejection is more like a, his loss rather than your loss.
This isn't a script, it's more like a loose guideline. But one way to approach a guy is to make eye contact and say hello with a smile. Now when you do this, if he focuses his energy on you or stops what he's doing to speak back, find something to compliment or find a question to ask him. And don't do this while retreating or in passing. Focus your energy and attention on him.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The question thing, this is what I was saying about my tips, like asking for a favor. Not favor, but like his opinion on something. Like say you're at a bar or something and maybe you want a drink. I don't know. You could just be like, oh, you know, the question could be, what are you drinking? Or like, I don't know what I fancy. Like, could you recommend me something? Just something light-hearted, you know? And I think on the compliment thing, like, I don't think, well, for me personally, I'm not like, I don't think when you're first talking to a guy that you should like compliment him on like actual physical features, because then that might come across a bit, you know. I think like, if anything, compliment him on like, you know, a piece of clothing, like his shirt, his watch, his shoes, I don't know, just something. His taste, if he's got a good drink in hand, you know, or tease him about his taste. Like maybe he's drinking like an old fashioned, which literally tastes like arse, and you can be like, ew. But that's only if you're on that banter level, do you know what I mean? If you're not on that banter level, then don't do it.
Be assertive. What you're looking for are signs that he's trying to extend the interaction. If he does so, let him. The whole point of an approach is to trigger a pleasant interaction that makes him feel more comfortable asking you for your information. As long as you don't make any requests during your interaction or short conversation, any idea that he might have that you're just some girl on his nuts are arguable at best.
Exactly. You could have just been, you know, being British, being Canadian, just being polite and friendly. Can't really say, he can't be like, yeah, she was on my nuts, fam. Like, no, you can't, because really, what did I say? You know what I mean?
How this looks if it's working is, again, he's extending the conversation. He's flirting with you. Or he's trying to qualify himself to you by telling you about his goals or his accomplishments, especially unsolicited.
Oh my gosh, this one's so funny. And do you know what, guys, like when you can tell the guy's into it as well. Yeah, say you compliment his watch and maybe he's like, oh gosh, this isn't even the nicest watch that I have. Like some guys will be like, oh thanks, but you know, I just wore my casual one today, you know, I'm really, you know, I've got this one at home, or like I'm actually gonna get a new watch. Like, you know what I mean? Those are the, yeah, those are the signs, because he's trying to impress you further.
This is a short exchange. Why he's getting into his greatness is only to impress you. So with that in mind, during your interaction, always ask a man 1 or 2 questions that give him the opportunity to attempt to impress you. What do you do for a living? Do you like it? Are you in school? Anything that needs explaining. This will turn into a conversation ideally. Another trick that has been used successfully on me in the past is fake mistaken identity. It works because you never really know if somebody's faking.
That is so funny. I've had that happen to me a lot, where guys come over and they're just like, you look so much like someone I know. Or, oh my gosh, you look so familiar. Are you Thingy's sister? And I'm like, bro, you've never seen me a day in your life. Like, you have never seen me before.
What's your name again? You look familiar. Where do I know you from? It's always a great way to gauge a guy's interest in you, by checking his response to your question, even though you know you've never seen him in your life. Like I said, anything to get him talking to you. And from there, you go right back to the questions. Where do I know you from? I swear I've seen you before. Where do you work? Where do you go to school? I'm sorry, maybe I'm mistaken. I thought you were someone else. As long as he's friendly and engaged in returning your questions, keep going. That's a nice shirt. Where'd you get it? And so on and so on. Even something as simple as a hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but your cologne smells amazing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely done that sort of thing before. Like, yeah, just that I'm sorry to bother you, but like, just tell him something nice and then like move on. And if he's interested, he'll continue. If he's not, then, you know, you've just paid him a nice compliment and moved on with your life.
Opens up all kind of opportunities for him to flirt with you. And trust me when I say this, men wear cologne so that women will notice. He won't feel like he's rejecting you, and you shouldn't feel rejected if he doesn't try to talk to you because you complimented his cologne. It will look like you were just being nice, or that you just have good taste in cologne. But if he is flirting, when you say, oh, sorry to bother you, but your cologne smells amazing, he may say something like, oh, you're certainly not bothering me, gorgeous. What's your name? Just pay attention to his body language and his tones. Does he appear to be enjoying what's happening, or is he waiting for you to stop?
Yeah, like if my man is like looking around, like trying to like look where his friends are and stuff, like, you know when you're talking to someone and they're like, they keep glancing over somebody, yeah, he's not interested, honey. He's no. Or you've been there for too long. Go.
Obviously, if a guy looks bored or doesn't start leading the interaction, make your exit. Oh my, you aren't who I thought you were. Sorry to bother you. Have a nice day. But again, pay attention. Is his body language open? Are his feet facing you? Did he stop what he was doing to speak to you? Is he smiling? Is he trying to make you laugh? Is he preening himself? The whole point of this is to start a small talk conversation that hopefully he takes over and makes into a larger conversation. Don't ask him out. Don't ask for his number. Don't ask him for permission for anything. Don't make any requests. No may I, can I, could we, do you mind, would it be possible? None of that.
Yeah, we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to do that.
Also, don't keep complimenting him. One well-placed compliment is enough.
And when you compliment him, don't be like, ooh, those are some good shit. Like, no, don't. Just be like, oh, cool watch, nice shirt. Cool. Just a casual, quick, you know, just quick, easygoing casual, you know.
Don't present your sexuality unless that's predominantly what you're offering. Guys are already attracted sexually, so you don't need to nurture that. Listen, if a guy's not attracted, no amount of hip twitching or sensual gazing or lip biting or back arching to accentuate your ass is going to change his mind.
That is so true. Guys are so, like, I feel like girls are so much more, what's the word? Flexible with their standards to some extent. Like, looks wise anyway, than guys are. Like, guys are really like, if I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you, honey. Like, there's nothing that you can do about it. Just take your dignity and go home.
Try to extend or lead the conversation after receiving short and dull responses to your first few questions or comments. Pretend you were just being nice and move on.
It's so painful when that happens. Like when someone clearly doesn't want to speak to someone else and they're giving those like short responses and then the other person just keeps going in and in and in. It's like, you know, when someone ends a conversation with like, "K."
In the event that your efforts are a success, remember, you approached him. So, to avoid disrupting the balance of power, if you do end up going out with him, you need to be a bit more conservative sexually. So with that said, don't start chasing him or seeking his validation by doing sexual favors. You have to make him earn your attention through consistency. As if he approached you, start taking action and going after the life that you want. Remember, you won't have the life you hope for. You will have the life that you work for. And that includes your relationships.
Wow, what a philosophical way to end the video. I think that was fantastic. I appreciate, you know, his breakdown, his focus on giving that bigger picture principles so that in any situation you know what to do. Anyway guys, have a lovely week and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, see you later, bye.